G4, look, spoken on the analyst desk a lot about the fact that G4 is looked at to be one of the favorites here for this 1v1. And I agree.
For sure.
Because, I mean, if he can do anything, it's 1v1. He does it all throughout any 5v5 match.
Especially on this patch. G4 is known as an Irelia player, known as a Z player, and Z is something that is really, really good.
5.23.
5.23, like the most significant buff was to Z. That all-in on level 6, very, very powerful. And in this case, he can take 2 offensive summoners. So I'm expecting Z from G4.
And G4, he knows the way of the 1v1 as well. Bans away the Nunu, bans away the Caitlyn. Every 1v1 tournament that we've ever seen, when it gets towards the high end, it's get rid of Nunu and Caitlyn, because otherwise we're just going to have a bad time. Yorick as well, at the, in his prime, was just awful to go against in that regard. So Yasuo is going to be taken away, as well as the Urgot and the Cannon. Kindred, once again, sneaking through. Crystal, of course, an avid Kindred player, has played her a lot. Saw it, in fact, just today. G4 now thinking about what he wants to grab. Riven available here.
It's like always the jungle test that I have in mind. Is he good mechanically? The question is really, is he a good Lee Sin? And Crystal is known for his Lee Sin, so why not? Kindred should work out for him perfectly.
Well, G4, of course, known for playing LeBlanc as well. Any assassin is going to work out. Of course, plays a lot of Lulu at the same time. So G4 has an interesting champion pool, but a Xerath would be an unorthodox choice, as he's just cycling through basically every champion in the book. We'll wait until he locks something in before we make up our minds, but it's 3 seconds to go.
The music is so dramatic.
I know. What is he going to pick? G4, Callista?
He just picked the weaker version of Kindred. Callista.
Look, it's like I said about the Jace. You know, you only want to put points into 2, so you get to level them up at the same time, never have to make a decision, because there's only one plus button that you can press. Makes it up for you.
But to be honest, Kindred is basically Callista with a puppy that does a lot of damage and gives you life back.
Yeah.
That is a badass
It's like
puppy.
Callista with ridiculous sustain,
In a
but
1v1
less jumping.
Like, there could be a lot of jumping, because when you activate the Wolf, you get the 1.5 second cooldown.
I'm just trying to find a way in here for G4, but I just
They're making it hard
quite
for us.
get there. It's just not a secret that Kindred's really good. That's the thing that's just ridiculous to me, is that these players have seen Kindred. Yeah, she's working. She's definitely doing some stuff on this No Down Showdown, but just hasn't quite caught up yet.
They're making it so hard for us. First the Rise, the Vladimir. And we're just talking about how bad these picks are. And we look like bad guys, but in reality, we're just saying the truth.
It's true. It's true. We can't really do much more than that. And you got to say it like it is. Yamato, you can't just,
Try to make up a story about how Callista is good here. She has 2 abilities that don't work. Sure, she had success against the Yorick earlier, but come on.
Yeah.
Even the item in her inventory takes up a slot. She's not going to be able to buy 6 wards.
How much? You're never going to be able to pick up 4 items with that, though, as G4 does get a couple of auto attacks on, but he's fighting against 2 champions. We've spoken about this. The exhaust is going to run down. A few Ren stacks are going to go in. G4 looking to try and get it down. Oh, one more auto attack will do it from either side. As Crystal, he's going towards the wrong turret. Crystal, you're going to die to minions. Okay, don't worry about it. It's not one more auto attack anymore, as Wolf still going to do some work. G4, stop flirting with danger, my friend.
Oh, I love the animation.
Oh, man.
Unleash the beast.
Yeah, well, he did. But G4 demonstrating that he should not be trifled with.
G4 did something very interesting. He started a longsword, which means he's going to have a lot more potions on his hand. But then again, Kindred has her sustain in the W, which is going to help out a lot, especially with the Doran's Blade.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I mean, if they go all in level 1, that sustain wasn't going to work out so well. But G4 now has to continue playing this lane out, and this may be trouble. This Crystal, one more auto attack, and he's going to be back to full health.
I'm going to be honest, this is way more interesting than the Vlad and the Rise, at least.
Well, that is a very good point. So G4, Wolf just biting him. He's trying to get around Snow Down Showdown, but he's definitely farming well. Crystal, a jungler, not necessarily know how to pick up CS all that well.
I think it goes to show here how Crystal kind of moves around the waves and kind of hesitates to attack the minions, because basically what happened here for 1 minute straight is G4 attacking the wave more than Crystal did, which eventually ended up with the wave hitting his tower. And on this map, it's very, very tricky to last it under the tower
That is a
because
very good point.
the damage is different, the health of the minions is very different. So unless you've practiced a lot of it, it's very, very hard. And once again, he's a jungler.
Yeah, it's not many things working in his favor at the moment, apart from the fact that he picked Kindred.
That is a big plus, though.
That is most definitely a very big plus as G4, misses the cannon creep.
Stings.
Yeah, it does. He didn't even press the Ren button either.
So even though both sides here have 2 swords, Crystal swords are far superior.
Yeah?
They cost more, they give lifesteal, sustain, it's very good on the map, and I'm kind of leaning towards Crystal here.
Well, it does make sense. He did pick Kindred.
That's going to become a meme eventually, man.
When in doubt, pick Kindred. But 2 longswords versus 2 Doran's Blade. As he said, there's an advantage to be had there. But level advantage for G4.
As soon as the wave bounces back here, I can imagine Crystal kind of pushing G4 back because of the item advantage. Maybe G4's going to base here.
Actually, look, depending on the ultimate timing from Crystal and G4 holding onto his Ren, in a last team fight, having that Ren to be pretty fantastic against Lamb's Respite, if you think about it, because you can just wait until it times out and then rend him for 1 billion damage and he's dead.
It's like now when you speak of it, on the Summoner's Rift, there's 2 champions that are considered natural counters to Kindred. And that one of them is Kalista, of course. As you said, she can just stack up the Ren stacks and she has to pop her ultimate so early. She can back off and the ultimate has been drawn already. And then of course there's Lee Sin, as we saw earlier today in the 5v5s.
Yes.
Oof, that Lee Sin was crazy.
SOFM, pretty good, the League of Legends.
Pretty good.
As it turns out. But extra Doran's Blade now picked up. Longsword, as the players are now trying to meet in the middle with these item builds.
But jealous of each other a bit.
Yeah, well, Crystal actually going very aggressive here as the exhaust is down. Ignite there as well for G4. Ooh. Maybe a little bit early on the exhaust. G4 with the rend, waits for the exhaust to fall down.
Stone cold.
Should never have doubted the man.
You said it, man. Kalista, perfect for the ultimate. Sure, the ultimate was not relevant here, but still, it was a very good point. I was stone cold waiting with the rend until the exhaust.
He's just, it's all business up there in G4's mind when it comes to these 1v1s. The man is mechanically sound and just never lets the game get to him, you know?
It's like the more I think about like how you use the exhaust is so important in that moment. If you manage to get exhaust in the rend range, then it's so important. It's like a Wild Wild West kind of thing. Who pulls the trigger first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, he managed to come out ahead. The Kalista, of course, only 2 abilities. He's handicapped himself, both of his hands behind his back. Had his legs free, though, so he could utilize those buttons. But look, G4, we spoke about him as being one of the highly mechanical skilled players here at the IWCA. Didn't disappoint.
Found a solution to Kindred. Pretty good.
We didn't expect it to be that.
Then again, I still think Kindred is favored here, simply because of the early game and the sustain. But I think the big issue for Crystal here was the fact that he was kind of hesitant to attack the wave. The wave hit the tower and he ended up falling behind in experience and gold.
And probably wanted to utilize that power spike a little bit better at level 3, but just didn't have the summoner spells for it, of course. All of the summoner spells utilized very early on in that level 1 duel without any minions around that G4 got very, very close to taking, but wasn't able to do so, then couldn't push the advantage forward. And Crystal just a little bit unfortunate for the Turk.